trapped in the hallway. Night out, I'm red, it's been a long day.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Earlier this summer, my sweet friend Amber and I decided that we thought it would be really fun to send each other a book box with items themed around books that we have read and loved, and mine showed up today. I cannot wait to see which book she sent me. She sent me The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. I have wanted to read this book for so long, and Amber loved it so much. I cannot wait to dive in and see what is in this box. Amber is so good about adding little magical details like all of the little stars and moons all over these packages. And I love that each one is tied with a ribbon. And oh my gosh, this yarn is stunning. Amber owns a company named Maker's Haven, and she used to dye yarn for that company. And this one is called The Way She Hung the Moon. And I instantly knew when opening that I had something special in mind that I wanted to do with it. I have decided that I want to use this beautiful silvery blue color and pair it with this little set of mini skeins that I have from Amber that are inspired by the Haunted Mansion to make socks. Welcome to the cursed town of Sparrow. 2 centuries ago, 3 sisters were sentenced to death for witchery. Stones were tied to their ankles and they were drowned in the deep waters surrounding the town. Now, for a brief time each summer, the sisters return, stealing the bodies of 3 troubled girls so that they can seek their revenge, luring boys into Sparrow's harbor and pulling them under. Like many locals, 17-year-old Penny Talbot has accepted the fate of this town. But this year, on the eve of the sisters' return, a boy named Beau Carter arrives, unaware of the danger he has stumbled into. Mistrust and lies spread quickly through the salty, rain-soaked streets. The townspeople will turn against one another. Penny and Beau will suspect the other of hiding secrets, and death will come swiftly to those who cannot resist the call of the sisters. But only Penny sees what others cannot, and she will be forced to choose, save Beau or save herself. I've glimpsed my own future in those leaves many times. A boy blowing in from across the sea, shipwrecked on the island, his heart beating wildly in his chest, his skin made of sand and wind, and my heart unable to resist. It's the same future I've seen in every cup of tea since I was 5, when my mom first taught me to decipher leaves. Your fate lies at the bottom of a teacup, she had often whispered to me before shooing me off to bed.
I've been drifting for so long, just trying to gain control. I'm so tired of drifting. Oh, river, let me know. Oh, river, I don't know if I appreciate the gravity of times like these. I don't know if I'm feeling freedom or if I'm just reacting to the need. Oh, river, river, flow me to the sea. Sand and stone, pour a drink for me. My bones, float me to the sea. River, you brought me here. You brought me here and set me free.
My soul has felt so much peace working on this little sock. It's been almost 2 years since I put down my knitting, and something about making these little stripes has just brought me so much joy.
Summertime is easy. The river's water keeps me warm. Seasons change to winter. I'm cold but safe beneath the storm.
The bonfire throws sparks up into the silvery night sky. Rose and I scramble down the uneven trail to Copper's Beach, the only stretch of shore in Sparrow that isn't bound in by rocks and steep cliffs. It's a narrow length of speckled white and black sand that ends at an underwater cave that only a few of the bravest and stupidest boys have ever attempted to swim in and then back out of. The sun fades, and the flames flick upward from the tall stumps like arms reaching for the stars. I make 2 mugs of hot black tea with cardamom, then carry them down to the orchard, and we stay up to watch the fires burn through the night. The air is smoky and sweet, with apples that will never bloom because these trees have reached their end. We sit on a stack of logs, watching the fires burn for nearly an hour. I heard your mom used to read tea leaves, Bo says, blowing on his hot tea to cool it. Where did you hear that? In town, when I was looking for work and found the flyer. I had asked someone how to get to the island, and they thought I was looking for my fortune to be read. She doesn't do it anymore. Not since my dad left. I lean forward to pull the clump of brittle beach glass at my feet, then roll it between my palms to crush it, feeling the broken fibers before I scatter the fragments back across the ground. I have a memory of my dad walking across the island, kneeling down occasionally to pull up a gathering of dandelions or clover or moss, then rubbing them between his worn hands. He liked the way the world felt.
Black flies on the windowsill. That we are to know. Winter stole summer's thrill, and the river's cracked and cold. See, the sky is no man's land, a darkened plumed estate. Hope there needs a humble hand, not a fox found in your place. No man is an island, this I know. But can't you see, or maybe you were the ocean when I was just a stone. Black flies on the windowsill. That we are to hold. Comfort came against my will, and every story must grow old. Still I be a traveler, a gypsy's reins to fade.
Guys, I am already to chapter 8 of The Wicked Deep, which I am absolutely loving. The story is about these 3 sisters. They're called the Swan Sisters, Marguerite, Aurora, and Hazel, which, first of all, I love that one of them is named Marguerite. I had a great aunt named Marguerite. We used to call her Annie M. I think you guys have heard me talk about her before. My mom always called her Annie M because she loved Wizard of Oz. And so I just love that one of the witches is that. But the main character in our story, her name is Penny, and she has recently become friends with a man named Beau Carter, who I'm loving his character, but I can't quite figure out what's happening. But I just wanted to sit down and try to read some more today. I've already opened up 3 of my amazing gifts from Amber, which you guys have seen. I have 1 more to open from her. I'm currently on page 112, and I was looking, and I don't think my 4th one gets to be opened until like page 190 something. Let me look. Yes, so chapter 14, page 193. So I have about that much to read before I can open the next one. So I think that's my goal for today. I have put on some like rain, thunder ambiance because the majority of the book takes place in this small little town called Sparrow, Oregon, which is right on the coast, which feels very reminiscent of Amber's books, her Port Swan town, which is in her Luna books, but it also reminds me of my childhood growing up at the Oregon coast. But like Penny and her mom live on this island, and it just feels like I should have the rain and the thunder going on the TV. And I've put some stuff in my diffuser, and I'm drinking tea out of this absolutely beautiful mug that Amber made for me, which just has this adorable little house on it, which makes me think of the little cottage that Beau is staying in on the island that Penny and her mom live on. And then the tea is called Mother's Little Helper which, you know, reminds me of how Penny helps her mom and the tea leaves, because Penny's mom used to read tea leaves. And so like, it just, everything about having this teacup, I'm just loving it. So I'm gonna sit down and try to get to my fourth and final package. And I'm going to pick up my sock, which I've been keeping in this fun little Harry Potter bag because I'm using the Ron Weasley stitch marker. I'm about 10 rows away from being able to add my heel. So I have gone ahead and added all of the stripes on the leg with the little Haunted Mansion minis. So I'm just really loving that project. So I'm almost to the heel part, and then the foot of the sock is all just going to be this beautiful bluey, silvery gray colorway from Amber called She Hung the Moon, which is just like, seriously, like perfect with the book with the moon and the witches and the spooky. I'm just loving it. And it's the perfect way to transition from the end of summer into fall. So let's read until we get to our next package. The wind is constant. It howls and tears at siding and rips shingles from roofs. It brings rain and salt air, and in the winter, sometimes it brings snow. But for a time, each spring, it carries in the lurid and seductive voices of 3 sisters held captive by the sea, aching to draw out girls of Sparrow. From the black waters of the harbor, their songs sink into dreams, permeate the brittle grass that grows along steep cliffs and rotting homes. It settles into the stones and holds on to the lighthouse. It floats and swirls in the air until it's all you can taste and breathe. This is what cajoles the weak-hearted from sleep, pulls them out of their bed, and beckons them down to the shore. Like fingers wrapped around their throats, it drags them into the deepest part of the bay, along the wreckage of sea long abandoned, pulling them under until the air spills from their lungs and a new thing can slip inside. This is how they do it, how the sisters are freed from their wreckish grave. They steal 3 bodies and make them their own, and this season, they do it swiftly. Sometimes I think this island is a magnet for bad things, the center of it all, like a black hole pulling us toward a fate we can't prevent. And other times, I think this island is the only thing keeping me sane, the only familiar thing I have left. Or maybe it's me that's the black hole, and everyone around me can't help but be swallowed up, drowned and trapped in my orbit. But I also know that there's nothing I can do to change it. The island and I are the same. Amber made me another worry stone. I love it so much. This blue is beautiful, and this texture is stunning. The heel on my first sock is now complete, so I can move on to the foot, and this project just continues to bring me so much joy. I just finished the Wicked Deep. You guys, I am so in love, but also so conflicted about my emotions on the ending. The back of the book says, the Swan sisters arrived in Sparrow, Oregon in 1822. Marguerite, the oldest, had long auburn locks, full lips, and a sharp jaw. Aurora, the middle sister, boasted soft waves of hair and bright full moon eyes. And Hazel, the youngest, was the plainest of the 3, with smaller features and hair that twisted into a tumbling braid. Each was beautiful, and each was misunderstood. A year later, the townspeople executed the Swan sisters for the crimes of witchcraft, placing a curse on the small town of Sparrow, a curse that has never been broken. Until now, perhaps. This book is so good. So basically the premise is that 200 years ago, the Swan sisters were accused of witchcraft. They were, their hands were bound and rocks were tied to their feet, and they were thrown into the harbor right off the coast of Sparrow, Oregon. And every year on June 1st, they come back, and for a month, they inhabit the bodies of girls in Sparrow, and no one in the town knows which bodies they've inhabited, and they lure boys from the town into the ocean and drown them to seek their revenge on this town. And our main character, Penny, meets this boy at the beginning of the season. His name is Bo, and she's worried about him because he's an outsider. He doesn't know anything about the town. And he comes to the town, and she is so worried that he's going to be one of the boys lured into the harbor. I love Penny and Bo's character so much. She has a best friend named Rose who starts having a relationship with a boy named Heath, and I really loved like the dynamic of the four of them together, but just the tenderness also of Penny and Rose's relationship. Penny lives on Lumiere Island with her mother, who has unfortunately kind of gone mad because 3 years ago her husband walked out of their house and disappeared, and no one knows what happened to him. And so she's, longing for her husband, and it has basically taken over her emotions. So the island is kind of crumbling around them. There is a lighthouse there that is in, dire need of tender loving care. There's a greenhouse that's been overgrown. There are 2 small cottages that have been basically taken over by the island. And then there's a pear and apple orchard that has basically shriveled up. And Penny allows Bo to stay on the island, and while he is there, he helps her prune back the trees and bring new life to the orchard. It's just, this book is just so beautiful and magical and haunting all at the same time. And every once in a while, I think I had kind of figured out what was going on. And then a total plot twist happened, and I was very much taken back by it. I was very surprised. And then the ending is just so beautiful, but also so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. And I'm just stuck with not fully being able to wrap my brain around my thoughts on this, but I have given it 5 stars. And for me, a 5-star book is anything that I love, anything that brings on an emotion in me. I did find myself almost tearing up at the end. It's a book that, hours after reading the last page, I'm still thinking about. So I probably am a person who gives more 5-star ratings than a lot of people. But if I am instantly drawn to something in a book, or if I feel a connection to a character, it's a 5-star book for me. So this one definitely is. If you have not read The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw, I definitely recommend it. I'm so glad that Amber sent this to me in my box. I love it. And I'm gonna have to read it again, I think. But it was the perfect book to kind of take me out of summer and into fall. So now that I have finished reading this, and now that my book box has completely been opened, I love all of the beautiful things that Amber gave me. That worry stone that was my very last present from her is so beautiful. And it sits on my blue bookshelf with my other little worry stone that she gave me, and this little bluebird of happiness that I knit a couple years ago. And it brings me joy. And I am absolutely obsessed with the little teacup that she made that has the cottage on it, and my tea infuser that she gave me, that she found, she said, when she was at a little farmer's market in the town that her brother lives in. And the tea was delicious. Everything that she sent me in this package made the whole experience. Oh, and the candle, which I cannot wait to burn. Just everything in this package made the whole experience feel so immersive. Like I was truly in the town of Sparrow on Lumiere Island with Penny and Bo and the Swan sisters, going through all of the emotions that everybody in this town feels during this time in the summer. And yeah, it gave me that warm and cozy feeling, which just is perfect for the transition into fall. So, and I have finished the heel on my sock, which I will keep working on. And I'm looking forward to having that project to work on in the next couple weeks. So thank you so much for hanging out. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and you can hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my face in your feed. And if you've made it this far, please leave me a book emoji or let me know if you've read this book, what you thought of it, or if I have encouraged you to do so. So I'll see you guys soon.